So a little bit about myself. My parents are Spanish. I was born in London. I moved back to Spain when I was 8 or 9 because my parents wanted me to be Spanish. But I was a little bit more English than Spanish then, and then I became more Spanish, and I'm English now. So, but I managed to keep both languages, so I'm bilingual, luckily. I consider myself Spanish. I lived there till I was 20, sorry, I lived there till 8 years ago. So I lived there all my life, 25, 26 years. I was quite successful in business a couple of times, and I lost my money a couple of times as well. I was very good at finding real estate crashes, so I found the first one. I did really well with that one. I lost everything, and then I managed to redo it all over again. My second one was a bit harder because I was my early 40s and, yeah, late 30s, early 40s, and I wasn't expecting, I don't think anybody was expecting it to be as bad as it was, and it caught me with a lot of money in properties. And unfortunately, we lost it all. So to start all over again, now I came across NLP. I loved NLP. I came across Paul McKenna, Richard Bandler. I did all the training because I was looking for more answers. I wanted to do something else that was had a bit more meaning, was more fulfilling than what I was doing till then. And yeah, I came across his book. I did NLP practitioner. I did a master practitioner. And then I did my trainer training because I was going to become the good-looking, better version of Paul McKenna for the Spanish-speaking market. Yes, that was the plan. Now, a friend of mine worked with Paul McKenna, and cutting a very long story short, Paul was off to LA. They were going to close the company down. My company was already closing down, and I thought, well, yeah, I want to go to England. I didn't. But it was a great opportunity for me to reinvent myself, to start from scratch, and be involved in something that I was extremely passionate about, which is changing people's lives and in personal development. Now, it meant I had to take a step back as an author, as a coach, as a trainer, and be more involved in running a business of personal development. So, obviously, if we are hopefully going to be working with each other in the future, it's important you understand where I'm coming from and most importantly, kind of what I'm trying to build and where I'm going. So I'm happy to say that 8 years later, you know, the best you, and well, basically, NLP Life Training is now the largest NLP training organization in the world. And it's simple because I work with Dr. Richard Bandler and Paul McKenna, which means that we get hundreds of thousands of people attending our courses every year. But I managed to build their profile. I think I've managed to do a great job. And listen, if they're still working with me 8 years later, it's obviously because they're extremely well, you know, they're satisfied. They're happy. Because if they're not, they would tell me, or they wouldn't be working with me. So that's the story. That's how I've worked with Paul and Richard. I've been their promoter for 8 years. So I'm very experienced in running seminars and events. I'll talk a little bit more kind of the biggest event we've done with my organization. But at the moment, that's kind of where we are. So today, and 4 years into running NLP Life Training, I thought there's got to be something more. There is something more than to personal development than NLP. And I came up with the idea, the concept of the best you, which was a platform, a multi-platform, a place where people in personal development could either share their expertise, their wisdom, their knowledge, because there's so many great people out there happy to do kind of what the speakers are doing today. But it's also a great opportunity for those that are interested, seeking, looking for ideas, inspiration, a place to go to. And that's kind of where I came up with the best you. So 4 years in, we've published the magazine, which you guys got a copy, boys and girls have a copy. I'm happy to say I took the database from 45,000 to 115,000 in this period. We've got around 35,000 digital readers to the magazine, well, digital and print. We have around 3,000 paid subscribers. Our online traffic is 75,000 plus. My database around 75,000 opt-in. We have, 12,000 app downloads. We've got around 250 hours of video content. 19,000 customers. The average spend on a lot of these courses is quite high, as you can imagine, because we do NLP practitioners, master practitioners, we do all sorts of courses. So that's kind of where the best you is. We've got 91,000 people following us on Facebook. I personally have 115 or 120,000 in my own Spanish Facebook. But that's kind of the business. And then Twitter, we've got around 42,000. I would say 55% of our customers are women and 45% are men. So what we've managed to do so far is build the Best You magazine. As I said, we've published all sorts of great articles. I've interviewed all sorts of amazing people. Sorry. The magazine has allowed me, as I said, I mean, Barbara DeAngelis, John DeMartini, Simon Sinek, the guy that wrote the book Start With a Why. I just interviewed the Oula Boys, which is a massive sensation that's going global in the US. Oh my God, Sir Clive Woodward, Janie Lee Thompson. I've interviewed so many great people for the magazine. It's been a blessing. Jason Vale, all sorts of great people. And kind of, it's just growing, and obviously it's becoming a bit of a global reference. Last year, our biggest achievement was we did the expo. So we did our first personal development. So in my mind, the moment I did the magazine, I thought there has to be a place where people in personal development could get together and they could connect, kind of like the magazine going live. And that's where we came up with the idea of the expo. So we did the first one. And for those, how many of you went to the expo? Okay, quite a few of you. Great. You guys too as well? My team went there as well. I forced them. But basically, we had 4,000 square meters. We had 4,800 people, 4,700 people pre-register. 3,200 people showed up. We had 55 exhibitors. We had 54 speakers. And yeah, all sorts of great facts, 15 hours of, loads of content and 43 workshops. So all that content was filmed, was documented. For next year, we're looking at launching the expo next year in 2017, 4th and 5th of March. We've got the dates, we've got all the information. We're aiming for 10,000 people, a minimum of 6,000 to 8,000 people to show up. We're looking at 100 speakers, 108 workshops in particular, and for 160 exhibitors. We're going from 4,000 to 6,000 square meters. So the Best You Expo next year is looking really exciting. A lot of the people that were there, Mindy was there, a lot of the people that were there last year have agreed or are supporting us next year, which is a good feeling. We're also doing Inspiring People Talks. This is an opportunity. It's kind of our take on TED Talks. So we do 25-minute talks. We film them in all these iconic places. So we're also doing that. We've run a few of those, and we're going to run more. The Best You TV is going to launch in March 2017. So all this video content that we've got from the expo, the video content that we're filming today, everything that we've got basically in place, all the interviews that we've been doing is going to be live on a Best You TV. Now, the Best You TV, basically, what it means is we've got a partnership with a platform in the US called TV4. And TV4 basically put the content in Roku. Roku is kind of like Netflix. They've got around 10, 11 million viewers. Amazon Prime, Hulu, again, 6-8 million people. YouTube, and B-Sky-B. So we're hoping to become the first personal development platform. And we will have lots of live content, and we'll also have loads of recorded content. And also, by the end of this year, we're looking at launching the Best You Radio. As you can imagine, it's just basically the same content that we've got. We're using it in a different format, and we're going to be doing our own podcast. But our plan is to run our own radio shows. So a lot of the people that we work with, these experts that we work with, will be our guests. You guys might be our guests in the radio shows, in the TV. So this is kind of the foundations of who we are, what we are, and how either myself personally, with my story, and I'll talk a little bit more of how I'm working. I'm working with people now. I'm mentoring people. We're doing partnerships. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But kind of the whole idea today is to provide you some great insights, some great tips. But what's important is just to establish the foundations of where we are as a company, as an organization, what we've done. My team are here. Steve and Lucci, they're over there, plus a couple more outside. So any questions you've got at any time, feel free to go ask them